Good morning everyone. It is day 3 of the workshop, the final sunrise shoot, and we are at, you probably can't see in this light, I'll just dim that down, and you probably still can't see. We're at Calachako. It's got the big cliff at one end of the pebble beach with a tower on top, 16th century watchtower. We're still probably about 30-35 minutes before sunrise, got here a bit early, so we're just waiting around for a little bit more light on the scene to set up. There's some quite nice tones out that way, and hopefully we'll get some light coming through and side lighting the scene. We're about 3 or 4 minutes from sunrise, but as you can see the clouds shifted in, sun's disappeared, pretty much all the light's gone off the scene, which is disappointing. Never mind, we might still get some breakthrough in a little while. There's a little tiny gap there. There might only be a window of opportunity of a few seconds. See, Richard's down here, he's got himself a composition that he likes on the tower. And because the compositions to shoot the tower are quite limited if we want to avoid getting in each other's way, if you see what I mean, I'm not going to just shoot the tower. What I'm going to do is probably include Richard in the frame down in the foreground, you know, as a sort of a photographer at work type image, and hopefully the light will break through and we'll get something. If not, well, we'll have one with flat light. So we're just past sunrise now, and yeah, it has closed in. The sun's just kind of peeking through a little bit. We're not getting any light on the tower, so we've got kind of a pretty dull scene that way, but it's still quite pretty out to sea. I think Richard's grabbing some shots, looking out that way, you know, the rocks and the, well, you can hardly call them waves, little ripples coming in. So it looks like we're probably not going to get a fantastic set of light on the tower. I think Richard got some shots a little bit earlier before the light disappeared, when there was some quite nice tones in the sky. So hopefully he's got some shots that he's happy with. Okay, yeah, the sun never really put in much of an appearance. There's a bit of a glow there, but it's not putting any light on the scene. There's no colour. With 25 minutes, roughly 20-25 minutes after sunrise now, so by the time the sun might break through a bit higher, it's going to be too late to do anything interesting. So we're going to pack up and head off and get breakfast and coffee, and we've got still one more shoot to do, which will be this evening, and we'll join you there. Okay, so we're out in the afternoon. It's a little over about an hour and a quarter, an hour and 20 minutes, about an hour and 25 minutes actually before sunset. We've come to Tibi reservoir. It's a bit breezier than I was hoping it was going to be, but that might settle down a bit as the sun gets a bit lower. And at the moment the sun's pretty much behind a cloud. There's something going on with the fire brigade here. We've had one of the firefighting helicopters. They're probably doing some kind of drills, but they don't seem to be actually picking water up like they have done before, but we've been treated to the helicopter flying overhead, which is nice to see. And just a case of working out what we're going to shoot. And hoping we might get some interesting light. I guess if we don't, well, there's always black and white. Yeah, it's not shaping up the way I was hoping it was going to, which is a shame. I was hoping to get something really nice for Richard's last shoot here, but at the moment the water is actually quite murky, and I suspect that's probably runoff because of the storm. I'm guessing, I don't know. It's also got quite a lot of ripples on it, so there's not much chance of reflections, and also the light is pretty flat at the minute. The sun seems to be behind clouds over there. It wouldn't take much for it to break through and light the scene up, and it might look quite nice, but at the moment it's not looking all that great. I'm just playing around at the minute with a shot. I've got 70-200 lens on. How am I? Probably about 140 mil, something like that. And I'm kind of zoomed in as where am I? Just over there. There's kind of a bit that juts out with some reeds on. Then there's another bit beyond that juts out. And in the back there's some buildings, and we've got the hills and that up above. And I've got a 10-stop filter in, and I've just shot a 90-second exposure, which is finished now. And I mean, the colours aren't great. Well, it's got a blue colour cast from my ND filter anyway, but the colours don't look great. But it might not be a complete disaster. It might look okay. But at the moment, Richard's found a couple of vantage points to shoot from, different sort of compositions that he's trying to make the best of the scene on. So when you don't get great conditions, about the only thing you can do is just make the best of it. We've not got quite as much breeze now, but there's still quite a lot of rippling going on in the water. So there are, some reflections, but they're not crisp, clear reflections. But it has let me try a shot. I put the 16-35 lens on, another long exposure, 19-20 millimeters. And basically the edges of the reflections on each side come in from the bottom corners of the frame, and then the shape of the reservoir basically kind of snakes out in an S type of curve. I've actually got the hills fairly low down on the frame, probably round about the middle of the frame, and then quite a lot of sky up above. 90-second exposure. Although I did shoot a 1/13 of a second exposure first, just to see what it looked like, because the sort of cloud textures look quite nice. But I think the 90-second will look better. Colour-wise, there's not a lot of light on the scene. Might even go black and white. Okay, the sun's now gone behind the hills over there. The sky over that way is grey, and chances of anything happening now, there's certainly not going to be any light on the scene, and chances of a nice sky are pretty slim. And I think the consensus of opinion is we're going to wrap up and head for home. Even though it's not yet sunset, I don't think there's much point in hanging around, and Richard's kind of agreeing with me on that one. So That's always good. We could hang around here for another hour, but I don't think much is going to happen. So this actually brings us to the end of the 3-day workshop on this series of videos. Looking at that, we've had 2.5 pretty nice sunrises. I say 2.5 because we had 2 nice ones, and then this morning started out nice and then kind of fizzled out. 2 not so great sunsets, but 1 really spectacular one. So I think that's not a bad average. All that remains for the workshop now is we have the last meal out tonight to kind of celebrate the end, and then Richard will be heading off home tomorrow. And as for me, I'll be spending tomorrow editing photos and videos because I've got a lot to do.
Gotta go and find my bubble.
Oh, and we've got to try and find Richard's spirit level bubble, because he dropped his tripod just after we got out of the car, and then realised after we got down here that a little bubble on his spirit level bubble on his tripod's come out. So hopefully, because it's not going to be dark on the way back, hopefully we'll be able to find it. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. 3 videos from a 3-day workshop. I hope you've enjoyed them. If you have, and you're not already a subscriber, then now would be an excellent time to just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It's pretty painless. And you won't miss any of my other videos when they come out, especially if you tap the little bell, you get a notification. If you have enjoyed this video, and only if you enjoyed it, then you could consider giving it a like, hit that thumbs up. You could consider sharing it on social media, which would be much appreciated. And I'd love to hear what you think. Leave me a comment. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.